The universe has never truly been silent. Even in its deepest, most hidden corners where the light of distant stars takes billions of years to arrive there have always been sounds of life and death. The collisions of meteors, the thunderous explosions of supernovae, or simply the shrill howling of radiation winds sweeping across barren worlds. But this time, a silence is spreading everywhere, a silence not born of the absence of sound, but of the erasure of existence itself. At a remote set of coordinates beyond the edge of all known galactic maps lies a dead planet. Its surface is a graveyard of rock and dust, where the remnants of an ancient civilization lie exposed beneath the faint glow of distant stars. Colossal structures, once the pride of some long-lost species, now stand as skeletal frames, stretching desperate fingers toward the pitch-black sky. The wind here does not blow in any ordinary way. It slithers through the cracks of ruined buildings, producing intermittent shrieks like the lamentations of forgotten souls. The camera of the universe seems to drift slowly across this dead land. There is no background music, no dramatization, only the dry rasp of wind scraping against the planet's barren crust. The sense of loneliness is chilling. Suddenly, on the far horizon, where a massive star shines brilliantly, casting one of the few remaining sources of light upon this desolate world, something anomalous occurs. If it were a natural stellar death, the star would swell into a red giant before detonating in a dazzling supernova, scouring everything nearby with shockwaves. There is no explosion, no change in color, no collapse. In a millionth of a second, the star simply goes out. It vanishes from the velvet curtain of the universe as if someone had taken a colossal eraser and wiped it from the sketch of reality itself. The instant the star disappears, darkness crashes down. With no reflected light, the ruins on the planet are swallowed by an inky blackness. The shrieking wind abruptly falls silent. The air itself seems to be sucked away. A sensation of absence spreads through space. This is not an ending, it is a deletion. Something is coming. It is not loud or ostentatious. It arrives like a ghost, slowly corroding the aging universe. Millions of light-years away, on Earth, a peaceful midday unfolds in the mountains of PiccoBuu. Sunlight bathes carefully tilled fields. The green of vegetables, the brown of soil, and the gold of the sun combine into a perfect pastoral painting. But upon closer inspection, today's sunlight seems strange. It is paler, lacking its usual brilliance and vitality, as if the landscape had been left under the sun too long and was beginning to fade. Son Goku, Earth's hero, is going about his everyday task, farming. He wears mud-stained work clothes, holding a freshly pulled carrot in his hand. Nearby, inside the warm little house, Gohan, Videl, and young Pan are gathered around the lunch table. Laughter carries out into the air, the clink of bowls and chopsticks echoing with the sound of ordinary happiness. Goku smiles, wiping sweat from his brow. He lifts the carrot, about to toss it into a basket. But at that exact moment, a chill runs down his spine. It isn't killing intent. Goku has faced cosmic tyrants, bioengineered monsters, even gods of destruction. He knows the taste of murderous aura, sharp, overwhelming, threatening. This is different. It feels like losing one's footing. Goku's heart skips a beat, the torrent of ki within him normally abundant and powerful, like a great river stutters for a split second, as though an invisible void has sliced through his very soul. The carrot slips from Goku's hand and hits the ground. The small sound rings out clearly in the unnaturally quiet field. Goku doesn't pick it up. He stands frozen, dark eyes staring at his hand, then lifting toward the pale blue sky above. His fingers tremble slightly, not from fear, but from his body reacting to a microscopic shift in reality itself. In his mind, an invisible connection is formed. No communicator is needed. Vegeta, Goku murmurs, his voice low, stripped of its usual carefree tone. Did you feel that? Somewhere else, perhaps at Capsule Corporation, Vegeta is training or resting, but Goku knows the Saiyan Prince has just experienced the same sensation. The universe, Goku continues, his gaze darkening as he looks beyond the atmosphere, beyond the stars, towards some distant, unknowable place, just got a little lighter. He doesn't mean weight in the literal sense. He means existence itself. A part of the universe has been cut away, and the burden of balance has shifted. The sense of safety that defined their days of peace suddenly feels as fragile as an eggshell. While Earth has only begun to feel the gentle aftershocks of the event, panic has already started to creep into the most sacred places of the universe at the sanctuary of the god of destruction, Beerus. Beerus's planet has always existed outside the ordinary laws of life and death, a realm saturated with divine energy and solemn stillness. But today, that stillness is shattered by the trembling of a being considered the wisest in the universe, the oracle fish. By the sacred lake, Beerus and Whis stand watching. On a normal day, Beerus would be sprawled out lazily or grumbling about food, but now his long ears are pricked straight up, his golden eyes narrowed in sharp alertness. Whis, maintaining his usual composed demeanor, grips his staff tightly, though concern is unmistakable in his gaze. Inside the floating fish tank perched atop the staff, the oracle fish is not swimming playfully as it usually does. It has curled into a corner, its entire body shaking uncontrollably, its scales dulled to an ashen gray with fear. It opens its mouth as if to speak, but no sound comes out. It is trying to prophesy, but the future before it is a blank, empty white. Beerus snarls, his patience wearing thin. "What do you see? Who dares to challenge me?" The oracle fish shakes its head frantically, its bulging eyes looking as if they might burst. Suddenly, a bizarre phenomenon unfolds right before the two gods' eyes. The water in the lake home to strange, glowing fish abruptly stops flowing, not frozen. Ice would still have molecular structure. The water here simply halts in space and time, like a glitched photograph. The fish in the lake also stop moving, suspended motionless in the still water. Whis steps closer and lightly touches the surface of the lake with his fingertip. No ripples spread outward. "Lord Beerus," Whis says, his voice lower and colder than ever. He withdraws his hand, studying his fingertips as if checking whether they still exist. "This is no ordinary enemy. We are not facing a warrior or an army." Beerus whirls around. "What do you mean, Whis?" Whis raises his staff. The crystal orb upon it flickers, revealing a hazy image of the universe. Points of light representing galaxies blink in and out, but along the outer edge, darkness is spreading. Not darkness covering light, but space itself being eroded. A void zone is expanding, Whis explains, violet eyes fixed on the emptiness ahead. It is devouring galaxies. This enemy does not travel by spacecraft. They do not move from point A to point B. Then how do they move? They erase distance. Whis replies a statement that defies every law of physics. They erase the space between themselves and their target. That is why they can be anywhere and nowhere at all. "The universe is shrinking, my lord, and the next target." Whis does not finish the sentence. Neither of them needs him to. Both can already feel a coming disappearance, heading straight toward the solar system. At the frigid edge of the solar system, where the boundary between safety and danger is separated by nothing more than a thin metal hull, a patrol ship of the Galactic Patrol glides silently through space. Its pilot is none other than Gokell, the Galactic Patrolman. Gokell lounges in his seat, with his feet propped up on the control panel, humming some unbearably dull tune to kill time. Patrolling the edge of the solar system, this is so boring. There's no criminal stupid enough to hide out in a backwater like this. He glances at the radar screen. A green circle sweeps steadily across the black display. Nothing. No heat signatures. No energy waves. No unidentified spacecraft. "See? Told you," Gokell mutters to himself, stretching and yawning. Quiet as can be, his sentence is cut short by a sudden silence. The radar's beep vanishes. Gokell blinks, then leans forward and taps the screen a few times. "Hey, what is this? Did you break already? You worthless hunk of junk." He checks the other readouts. The engines are still running. Life support systems are fine, but the radar is dead silent. It doesn't report an error, it simply shows nothing at all, as if the space outside the ship no longer exists to be scanned. Suddenly, the ship shudders lightly. Not a violent impact, but more like the vessel has just slipped. Gokell grips the pilot's seat and whips his head around to look out the rear viewport. His oversized eyes widen to their absolute limit, reflecting pure, paralyzing horror. The rear section of the patrol ship is gone. The cut is impossibly smooth and perfect, as if the tail section had never been assembled in the first place. And through that cleanly erased gap, Gokell sees him. For the first time, the enemy reveals his form, Lord Null. He floats in the vacuum of space without any protective gear. He is not massive like Broly, not grotesque like Frieza's third form, nor cunning-looking like Cell. He bears a humanoid shape, but his body is smooth, no bulging muscles, no pores, and his entire form is a reflective silver, like polished chrome. Lord Null has no discernible face. Where eyes, nose, and mouth should be, there is only a flat surface, reflecting the distant starlight. He is perfectly beautiful and utterly terrifying. He is the embodiment of nothingness. Jocko screams, a sound caught in his throat as realization crashes over him. Lord Null does not attack. He simply raises a single finger and points toward the distant earth. In that instant, Jocko feels like an ant standing before the Reaper's scythe. Lord Null's presence emits no ki. Instead, it radiates emptiness. He is a living black hole, draining all hope from the space around him. Earth, 12 noon. West City is bustling with hurried crowds. Vehicles soar through the air, neon billboards flicker, horns blare, music plays, everything blending into the symphony of a modern metropolis. Then the symphony is suddenly strangled. The sky, bright blue just moments ago, abruptly darkens. Not from storm clouds rolling in, not from the summoning of the dragon god. This is an artificial darkness, a colossal shadow spreading across the entire hemisphere. People look up, curiosity quickly turning into primal fear. The sun has been blocked, but not by the moon, not an eclipse. It is obscured by a vast, invisible object, detectable only by the way it cuts off the light. The temperature drops sharply, birds in mid-flight suddenly fall from the sky like stones. At Capsule Corporation, the Z-Fighters have gathered. Goku arrives via instant transmission, his face more serious than ever before. Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Android 18, everyone is there, standing on the rooftop, staring up at the pitch-black sky. Vegeta stands slightly apart, fists clenched, cold sweat running down his temples, an uncharacteristic sight for the proud prince. "This can't be," Vegeta mutters, his voice trembling with anger and confusion. "I can't sense anything. Absolutely nothing." "What do you mean, Vegeta?" Piccolo asks, his green face hardening. "The enemy is right above our heads. It's blocking out the sun." "That's exactly the problem," Vegeta shouts back, eyes filled with frustration. Something that massive should be emitting an enormous amount of energy or at least exerting physical pressure. But Bulma's radar can't detect anything. My senses can't feel any ki. They're like moving black holes. How am I supposed to fight something whose existence I can't even perceive? Goku steps forward, eyes locked on the center of the darkness. "They don't use ki, Vegeta. We have to be careful. I've got a feeling, if they touch us, we won't just be injured." Before Goku can finish his warning, disaster strikes. From the heart of the darkness in the sky, a pillar of black light blacker than the surrounding night plunges straight down into the center of West City. There is no thunderous explosion like those of conventional energy attacks. The moment the beam hits the ground, all sound disappears. Skyscrapers, streets, cars, everything in its path dissolves into shimmering particles and then vanishes into nothingness. No rubble, no smoke, no flames, just erasure. A vast section of the city has been cut away, leaving behind a deep, smooth-edged crater, silent and terrifying. The Z-Fighters stand frozen. The destruction is too clean, too precise, and for that very reason, far more horrifying than any chaos they have ever witnessed. Goku clenches his fists, his Super Saiyan aura erupting, but his brilliant golden light looks small and fragile before the massive black shadow swallowing the world. The storm has arrived, but it is a silent one, and the battle to protect existence itself, the war against nothingness, has officially begun. The silence that followed the black pillar striking West City was more terrifying than any explosion could have been. Normally, an energy impact on that scale would unleash shockwaves strong enough to shatter windows tens of kilometers away, make the ground convulse like a wounded beast, and bury everything beneath clouds of dust. But this time, the laws of physics themselves seemed to have been suspended. Goku and the Z-Fighters stood atop Capsule Corporation, staring at the scene below. Before them, in the heart of what had once been a bustling city, was a perfectly shaped circle nearly 2 kilometers in diameter. Inside that circle, everything was gone. Office buildings, amusement parks, busy roads packed with traffic, all of it had vanished without a trace. Not rubble, not ashes, It simply no longer existed. The ground at the bottom of the crater was unnaturally smooth, polished like a colossal black mirror, reflecting the gloomy sky above. What the hell is this? Krillin stammers, his voice breaking with fear. He rubs his eyes desperately, hoping this is nothing more than an illusion. Where is everyone? The people who were in that area. Gohan clenches his fists so tightly that his nails dig into his palms, drawing blood. With the keen senses of a Saiyan warrior, he searches desperately, but no matter how hard he tries, he cannot find a single sign of life within that pitch-black void. No key, no heartbeats. Thousands of lives have been erased in the blink of an eye, cleanly, mercilessly. This is unforgivable. Gohan growls as a white-silver aura erupts around him. They cannot be forgiven. Calm down, Gohan. Piccolo shouts, gripping his student's shoulder. The Namekian's hand is ice-cold. Don't rush in. Look, from the center of the black crater where the pillar of darkness still connects sky and earth, shapes begin to separate. They do not step out. Rather, they resemble drops of black ink falling onto white paper, spreading outward. At first, they are formless shadows, smeared and distorted, but within moments, they condense, solidifying into tall, humanoid figures. They are called the Hollows. They have no faces, no weapons, no armor. Their bodies look as if they were carved from glossy black obsidian, yet their surfaces constantly ripple like liquid. They do not walk. They glide across the ground, making no sound at all. Vegeta grits his teeth, the pride of the Saiyan prince deeply wounded by this blatant disregard. The enemy has come straight to his home, destroyed his wife's city, and now they march forward as if they are the rightful masters of this world. Don't toy with me, Vegeta roars, shooting forward like a blazing golden arrow. You faceless trash. Get off my planet now. Vegeta, wait, Goku shouts after him, but it's already too late. The Saiyan prince hovers above the edge of the crater, arms spread wide as he gathers an immense amount of energy. Blue lightning crackles violently around his body. The sphere of destructive energy leaves Vegeta's hands, hurtling toward the hollows below at supersonic speed. With Vegeta's current power, this attack is more than enough to obliterate a small asteroid. He curls his lips into a confident smirk, awaiting the earth-shattering explosion that will crush the monsters beneath him. The energy sphere strikes the leading hollow, and then, nothing happens at all. There is no explosion, no blinding flash of light. The massive energy sphere packed with destructive power meets the hollow's pitch-black body and is suddenly swallowed. It is like tossing a pebble into a bottomless well. The sphere shrinks, warps, and then vanishes completely inside the enemy's form. The hollow does not even slow down. It continues to glide forward, its surface rippling only slightly, as if it has just digested a light snack. Vegeta freezes in midair. The grin on his face vanishes, replaced by sheer horror. "Bubu, what? It just ate my attack?" "Not ate." Goku appears beside Vegeta, his eyes grave as he looks down. "It erased it. Vegeta, our energy, is useless against them." At that moment, the hollows begin to spread out. They do not attack the Z fighters immediately. Their target is the existence of the physical world itself. One hollow glides toward a surviving skyscraper at the edge of the crater. It extends a long, blackened arm and touches the concrete wall. A horrific scene unfolds. The building does not collapse. At the point of contact, the color of the wall begins to fade. From white paint, it turns gray, then transparent, and finally dissolves into nothingness. The effect spreads with terrifying speed. Within 10 seconds, the entire 50-story building is erased from reality, leaving the people inside to fall freely, screaming in panic. But even those people never hit the ground. As they fall through the space the hollow has just passed through, their bodies begin to blur and fade. Their screams die away not because they stop screaming, but because their throats, lungs, and ultimately their very existence are being stripped from the universe itself. "No!" Gohan screams in anguish. He dives downward, desperately trying to grab a falling child. Gohan's hand passes straight through the child's body. The boy has already become a semi-transparent specter before fading away completely. Gohan grasps at empty air, his eyes wide with shock. He has seen death before, but never a denial this absolute. Death leaves behind a body, leaves behind memories. This thing takes everything. Gohan, get out of there! Piccolo shouts. A hollow has closed in behind Gohan. It swings its arm down like a scythe. Piccolo rushes in, delivering a powerful kick straight into the monster's head. It feels like kicking into a waterlogged mass of cotton. Piccolo's leg sinks deep into the hollow's head, yet causes no physical damage at all. Instead, a searing pain shoots through him, not physical pain, but the sensation of his very life force being drained away. Careful! Don't let them touch you! Piccolo yanks his leg back, his face twisted in pain. The combat boot where it made contact has vanished, and the green skin beneath is turning a sickly gray, its cells dying at an alarming speed. He tears away the affected flesh to stop the spread. Purple blood spills out, but at least the nullification has stopped. We can't fight them with physical attacks, and we can't use Kai either. Krillin shouts, clutching a Kienzan disc but not daring to throw it. Then what are we supposed to do? The situation descends into chaos. Dozens, then hundreds of hollows begin pouring out from the black pillar of light, spreading through the city like an army of ants searching for prey. They do not move quickly. They do not scream. Yet their silent advance creates unbearable psychological pressure. Anything they touch, cars, trees, people, vanishes. West City is being eaten away in patches, like a painting splashed with acid. Goku lands on the ground, positioning himself in front of a cluster of huddled survivors. Everyone, fall back, Goku shouts. He closes his eyes and focuses intensely. The golden aura fades, replaced by a calm yet majestic blue light. His hair stands on end, turning a vivid shade of blue. Super Saiyan blue. The power of the gods. If mortal ki can be erased, then maybe divine ki is different, Goku mutters. He doesn't fire an energy blast. Instead, he coats his fist in God ki, compressing it to the highest possible density. Goku charges forward and throws a straight punch into the chest of the nearest hollow. This time, there is sound. A heavy impact echoes. The hollow is knocked back several meters, its chest denting inward slightly. Blue sparks crackle and hiss around the wound. It worked! Trunks shouts. But the moment of triumph lasts less than a second. The dent in the hollow's chest begins to pulse. It doesn't heal, it adapts. The black surface of its body shifts into a faint blue glow, the color of Goku's ki. It lifts its head, and the flat, featureless surface where its face should be suddenly splits open into a narrow crack, resembling a twisted smile. It has absorbed God ki. What? Goku stares in disbelief. The hollow raises its hand, and from its palm fires a beam of black light mixed with blue. It doesn't aim at Goku, instead, it sweeps horizontally in a wide arc. The twin towers of Capsule Corporation are sliced cleanly in half. The upper section begins to slide down, but before it can hit the ground, it dissolves into glittering dust. They're learning how to use our energy, Whis says, his voice echoing in everyone's minds via telepathy. He and Beerus are still observing from afar, not yet intervening. Whis, where are you? Help us. Bulma screams into her communicator, clutching baby Bra tightly. We cannot directly interfere in the survival laws of mortals, Bulma. Beerus replies, his tone irritated yet laced with concern. Besides, if I use Hakai on them, I fear it will trigger a chain reaction. These things, they are manifestations of non-existence. Using Hakai, the power of destruction on them, would be like pouring oil on a fire. It would only make the hole in the universe even larger. So we're all just going to die? Vegeta roars as he narrowly dodges a sweeping strike from a hollow. He has also transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, but he no longer dares to attack recklessly. Find their core. Whis advises quickly. They are not independent life forms, they are puppets. The one controlling them is inside that pillar of light. You must sever that connection. Goku looks toward the colossal black pillar at the center of the crater. The pressure radiating from it makes even a Super Saiyan God feel short of breath, but he has no other choice. Vegeta! Gohan! Hold them off and protect the civilians. Goku commands. I'm going in. Kakarot. Are you insane? Going in there is suicide. Vegeta shouts. Goku doesn't reply. He places 2 fingers to his forehead, locking onto a strange presence within the pillar of light. It isn't ki, but it is the only anchor he can sense. Goku vanishes. Inside the black pillar, Goku materializes and immediately collapses. There is no gravity here. No air. Either. But the most terrifying thing is the absence of direction. Everything surrounding Goku is a blinding white completely opposite to the blackness outside. This is the white void. Goku's body feels as heavy as if weighed down by lead. He looks at his hands. His Super Saiyan blue aura is being peeled away in small fragments, drifting off and dissolving into the white space. Here, energy naturally dissipates. A voice echoes. It does not come from any direction, it resonates directly inside Goku's mind. It is emotionless, neither male nor female, sounding like metal scraping against metal. The white space parts before him. A being steps forward. It is Lord Null. Up close, Lord Null looks even more perfect and more terrifying. His body reflects Goku's image, but warped and emaciated. He has no aura, because he does not emit energy. He is a walking black hole wearing a human shape. You're the one behind all this? Goku struggles to stand, his breathing ragged. He can feel his strength being drained away with every second. Behind? Lord Null tilts his head, the gesture mechanically curious. No. I am inevitability. Your universe is too noisy. Too much chaotic life. Too much wasted energy. I am here to bring silence. The perfect balance of zero. What kind of silence slaughters innocent people? Goku shouts, clenching his fists. He forces himself to activate Kaioken on top of blue. Kaioken. A crimson aura erupts brilliantly. Goku lunges forward, moving at a speed that transcends even the concept of time in this space. A full power punch aimed straight at Lord Null's face. But Goku's fist stops 1 centimeter away. Lord Null does not block it. Instead, the space between Goku's fist and Lord Null's face becomes infinite. Goku is punching, moving, yet he can never reach his target. The distance is stretched endlessly within a finite space. This is Lord Null's paradox. Futile, Lord Null says calmly. He raises a finger and gently touches Goku's forehead. Just a light touch. Goku feels as if his entire history is being rewound. He sees himself growing smaller. He sees his battles with Frieza, with Cell, with Buu, everything fading away. His memories, his identity, are being eroded. Goku screams a soul-rending cry. His eyes roll back. His blue aura extinguishes, and even his base form can no longer hold. His body turns translucent, flickering like a lamp in the wind. Outside, in West City, Vegeta suddenly clutches his chest and collapses. Kakarot. Vegeta whispers, his face drained of all color. His ki. It's gone. Not dead, but as if he never existed. The bond between rivals, Goku's presence in everyone's minds, begins to blur. In the middle of battle, Gohan suddenly falters. Dad? Who was I just calling? Lord Null is erasing Goku's existence from the timeline. If Goku disappears completely, everything he has ever done every time he saved Earth will be nullified. The past will be rewritten, and the present will collapse. Within the white void, Goku's body is now nothing more than a faint shadow. He cannot move. He cannot think. Darkness begins to swallow his consciousness. But deep inside the torn pocket of his farmer's jai, a small object suddenly begins to glow. Goku bites down hard on his tongue. The pain drags his awareness back, just a little. He does not use ki anymore. He uses Ultra Instinct. But not the perfected silver form. This time, Goku's eyes do not turn silver. They turn a deep, endless, black like the monster before him, but with a tiny point of light at the center. If you are the void. Goku's voice echoes not from his mouth, but from his will. His body stops trembling, regaining solid physical form. Then I will become the one thing that fills you. Goku does not attack. He stands still. He stops emitting ki. He stops thinking. He merges himself with the nothingness of this space. For the first time, Lord Null takes a step back. He looks at his hand, the one that touched Goku. His finger is cracking. What? Lord Null mutters. You erase presence, Goku says, opening his eyes jet black, still as a dead lake. But Ultra Instinct lets the body act without thought. I don't need presence to fight. I'll become nothingness to defeat nothingness. Goku vanishes. This time, it is not instant transmission. He simply is no longer where he was. A devastating uppercut slams into Lord Null, sending him flying upward. The punch carries no energy, only pure kinetic force and an indomitable will to survive. Lord Null is blasted out of the white void, hurled back through the black pillar, and crashes down into the ruined battlefield of West City before the stunned eyes of everyone present. Goku steps out of the pillar. His clothes are torn to shreds. His body is covered in spreading gray wounds. But his eyes burn with a resolve never seen before. The true battle has only just begun. The enemy has been dragged into the light, but the price of that punch is devastating. Goku's right arm, the arm that delivered the blow, has completely turned black and gone numb. He is being infected by the void. The ghost has taken form, but can a hero who is slowly fading away protect a world that is itself dying? Goku's punch, the blow carrying the immaterial will of Ultra Instinct, has blasted Lord Null out of the black pillar. He crashes into the ruins of West City, producing a small shockwave, the first sign that he can, in fact, be affected physically. But that fragile hope is quickly crushed by a brutal reality. Goku stands there, gasping for breath. His right arm is pitch black and numb, hanging limply at his side like a dead branch. He stares at Lord Null as the entity slowly rises to its feet. There is no sign of pain, no anger. Lord Null simply brushes dust from his shoulder in action more like an imitation of humanity than anything necessary, then looks up at the colossal black pillar still connecting sky and earth. Resistance. Lord Null intones, his voice echoing through space without his mouth moving, is a manifestation of chaos. As if in response, the black pillar suddenly begins to convulse violently. It no longer holds its rigid, vertical shape, instead swelling outward, cracking open like a gigantic cocoon about to hatch. And then, from the fissures in space itself, the true nightmare pours forth. Not a handful but thousands, tens of thousands of dense black shadows spill out like a catastrophic flood. This is the Legion of Darkness, the shadows. They do not walk. They flow across the ground, wash over buildings, and blanket the sky. A shrill, agonized wind howls through the air, like the lament of millions of souls. Everyone, don't let them touch you. Krillin's shout tears through the tense atmosphere. The Earth Warriors, those who have always stood steadfast on the front lines, charge into battle at once. Tien Shinhan shoots upward, bringing his hands together into a triangular shape, the third eye on his forehead snapping wide open with determination. Shin Kiko Ho, a massive square-shaped blast of energy slams down into the advancing cloud of darkness. Its destructive power is enough to crush an entire mountain. But when it strikes the shadows, the attack simply passes straight through them like a flashlight beam cutting through fog. The darkness is unharmed, continuing its advance, cold and indifferent. What? It didn't work? Tien gasps in horror. Below him, Krillin unleashes a barrage of Qianzan discs. The razor-sharp blades slice cleanly through the air, but when they hit the monsters, they dissolve like soap bubbles. There is no physical impact, no resistance at all. Damn it! Run! Yamcha! Chaitsu! Krillin yells, turning to flee as a wave of blackness surges toward them. But the shadows are far faster than their sluggish appearance suggests. A patch of darkness peels itself off the ground, stretching out a pitch-black arm that snaps around Krillin's ankle. Krillin screams not from physical pain, but from an icy chill that shoots straight through his soul. A close-up of the small warrior's face shows it contorted in absolute despair. He looks down at his leg. His boot, then his pant leg, and even his skin are losing their color, turning ashen gray before dissolving into nothingness. He feels his very existence being erased. Memories of his wife, of his daughter Marin, begin to blur and fade. No, I don't want to die, not like this. Krillin sobs, tears streaming down his face only to turn to dust before they can hit the ground. A razor-sharp blade of energy slices across the black arm gripping Krillin. It's future Trunks! He charges in, using his sword wrapped in divine Ki Super Saiyan rage to sever the Shadow's connection. Krillin collapses to the ground, gasping for breath. His right leg is completely gone up to the knee, but at least he's alive. Uncle Krillin, fall back now, Trunks shouts, sweat pouring down his face. He realizes that even God Ki can only repel them for a brief instant, it cannot destroy them completely. At that moment, the sky erupts with two brilliant auras, one a vivid blue, the other a deep royal blue. Goku and Vegeta have entered the fight. Despite one arm being crippled, Goku activates Super Saiyan Blue, striking with his left hand, each blow packed with desperate resolve. Beside him, Vegeta has pushed his power to its absolute limit. Super Saiyan Blue evolved. Muscles bulging, eyes blazing, Vegeta charges straight into the sea of shadows like a raging thunderstorm. Don't you dare look down on a Saiyan! Vegeta roars. He stopped using long-range energy blasts. Instead, he wrapped his entire body in a dense layer of destructive energy, turning himself into a living bullet. Every punch and kick Vegeta landed on the shadow creatures produced sizzling explosions, like cold water poured onto a pan of boiling oil. He was using an extreme density of ki to burn away their nothingness. But the longer the battle dragged on, the more Vegeta realized a terrifying truth. Every time he destroyed or even forced one of them back, his own energy dropped sharply. They weren't just enduring his attacks. They were feeding on his energy with every single contact. Kakarot, do you see it? Vegeta shouted between ragged breaths, blasting away a shadow that was trying to ambush Goku. The more we fight, the weaker we get. These monsters are energy-draining machines. Goku nodded, his face twisted in pain as he clutched his right arm. I know, Vegeta, but we don't have a way out. If we stop, the Earth is gone. Amid the chaos of the battlefield, Lord Null still stood there motionless, like a statue. He observed the two Saiyans struggle with the detached gaze of a scientist watching ants trying to escape a glass enclosure. So noisy, Null murmured. He raised one hand. The gravity around Goku and Vegeta suddenly increased 1,000-fold. Even in their godly states, both Saiyans were slammed into the ground, their knees crashing hard against shattered concrete. Vegeta clenched his teeth as blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. His pride would not allow him to kneel before this enemy. Veins bulged across his forehead as he forced himself back up. I am the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta spread his arms wide, gathering every last shred of ki into his palms. A blinding radiance erupted, gold intertwined with deep blue outshining even the dying sunlight above. A colossal beam of destructive energy, carrying all of Vegeta's rage and pride, shot straight toward Lord Null. Its power was so immense that space itself warped along its path. If it hit, it could wipe out an entire solar system. Lord Null did not dodge. He did not raise a barrier. He simply extended a single index finger. When the final flash struck the tip of Null's finger, time itself seemed to stop. There was no explosion, no collision. The massive beam began to spiral inward, shrinking, being siphoned into Null's fingertip like water disappearing down a drain. In less than 3 seconds, Vegeta's ultimate attack vanished completely. Silence fell over the battlefield. Your energy, Lord Null said, his voice flat and icy, pollutes my stillness. He snapped his fingers. An invisible shockwave blasted outward. Vegeta was hurled hundreds of meters away, crashing through 5 skyscrapers before collapsing into the rubble. His battle armor shattered, and his blue evolved form faded out completely. Vegeta? Goku screamed, trying to rush forward, but a searing pain tore through his right arm, forcing him to collapse. The void consuming his arm had spread to his shoulder. His vision blurred as he lay there, helpless, staring at the pitch-black sky sinking ever lower. Was it over? Was this the end of Earth? Suddenly, a sharp, tearing sound ripped through the atmosphere. 3 crimson-violet beams streaked down from the heavens, piercing straight through 3 shadow creatures that were about to finish Goku off. These monsters weren't merely pushed back, they were incinerated by an energy so sinister and razor-sharp that it could sever even nothingness itself. Goku struggled to open his eyes and look up. A massive disc-shaped spaceship was descending, blocking out even the pillar of black light. Its hatch opened, and a small figure yet one radiating terrifying pressure slowly floated down, seated casually within a hovering pod. Behind him followed 2 other colossal key signatures, one wild and berserk, the other cold and calculating. That spine-chilling laugh echoed across the battlefield, making even the most desperate Z-fighters shudder. "You look pretty pathetic, Son Goku. Need a hand?" Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe, had arrived, and he had not come alone. To his left stood Broly, the legendary Saiyan, eyes pure white and hair standing on end, growling like a chained beast. To his right was Cell, the supposedly dead perfect bioandroid, now standing there once more, his shell gleaming, his composite ki utterly menacing. Frieza landed on the ground, his tail swaying with blatant contempt. "Don't get the wrong idea, monkey. I was on my way to conquer a nearby planet when I noticed my backyard had been trashed. This universe is under the rule of Frieza. I won't allow anyone else to destroy it before I do. Especially that smooth-faced freak over there." Frieza cast a sideways glance at Lord Null, cruelty flashing in his eyes. "Besides, I figure I could use a few expendable pawns.